My housemate who's 50 years older keeps flirting with me, but in the most wholesome way possible. I'm a 22-year-old college student and last year I rented out a room in a 74-year-old Japanese lady's house. And it's on my first day there that she fully changed my life forever. I was extremely broke when I first moved in, and when evening time came around, she came up to me and asked if I wasn't eating because I wasn't hungry. I looked down at the ground and shamefully admitted to not having any money. I expected her to look at me a certain way, but instead she smiled warmly. She sat down on the bed next to me and told me in broken English that when she was young in Japan, she was homeless and starving, when one day a stranger took her inside a restaurant and bought her a warm meal. Ever since that day she's vowed to never let someone starve under her watch. She then asked me if I've ever had shabu shabu, a traditional Japanese dish, and when I shook my head she stretched her hand out and smiled at me asking if I wanted a plate to try. I tried to politely deny at first, but she smiled all giddy and said, "Ooh, I heard something to say when this happened. Resistance is futile." She then chuckled, "See me, English perfect. Now come for food." I ended up walking down with her, and the food was delicious. We began talking over dinner, and it's during the conversation that I opened up to her. You see, I had always been an ugly kid, and when I hit puberty I became an ugly teenager, and now I was an ugly college kid. I'd never had a girlfriend because the harsh reality of being ugly is that people are borderline disgusted by you. I've never even gone on a date, much less had an actual girlfriend, and so when the old lady tried to make small talk by asking me if I have a girlfriend, I ended up going into a rant about it. I told her that I didn't have a girlfriend because I was ugly and that no girl ever wanted to date me, and soon as I said this she shot up, almost offended. "Nonsense. I think you are very handsome." I acted flattered, but deep down I thought she was lying, so I responded, "It's okay, you don't have to lie to make me feel better." She snapped when I said that. "I lie? What purpose I have lying?" She almost burst into tears saying that, and I was so taken aback by her reaction I kinda just looked at her uncomfortable. Tears had started forming in her eyes and this sweet old lady was suddenly hunched over in her chair crying, all while I sat there incredibly confused. I ended up asking her if everything was okay after she had calmed down, and what she told me broke my heart. She apologized for the outburst, and then told me her and her husband's story. They are married 50 years this upcoming February, but the thing is, he doesn't remember it. He suffers from Alzheimer's, and for the last 2 years he hasn't been able to remember her or their marriage. He's currently in a nursing home and she visits him multiple times per week to bring him his favorite meal, and each time she does, she says there's hope inside her that today is the day that even for a second, her husband remembers her. But that day never happens. She explained all of that to me trying to hold her tears back, and afterwards told me something that explained it all. The reason she got so mad and upset when I called myself ugly, is because I look just like her husband. Like me, he is American, and when she showed me a picture of them I saw just how alike we looked. What made it even crazier is when she told me that her husband too was very insecure about his looks his entire life, and it broke her heart because he couldn't see himself the way she saw him. She ended up hugging me and telling me with a very serious face I better not talk about myself like that, and that from today I'm going to realize how handsome I am. And from that day on there hasn't been a day where she doesn't boost my self-esteem. She makes it a point to refer to me as Mr. Handsome. She leaves little sweet notes around the house calling me cute. Whenever she walks by me she tells me how much better her eyes feel when she sees me in the morning, and things of that sort. She has made a massive difference in my life, and I can't thank her enough.